Timberwolves with Trenton Hassel, Kevin Garnett, Irvin Johnson up front, Latrell Sprewell and Sam Cassell in the backcourt. Carmelo Anthony is the small forward with Nene and Marcus Camby. Camby and Nene playing their best games of the series so far in game number 3, and Vashawn Leonard and Andre Miller also. And the tip controlled by Minnesota.
Man, this place is rocking. It was fun just to sit there for a minute and listen to this crowd. They are going crazy.
Nearly 20,000 fans on hand for this game. Vashawn Leonard guarding Latrell Sprewell. They got to stop the big three of Sprewell, Cassell, and Kevin Garnett. Garnett passing inside to Irvin Johnson, and Carmelo Anthony getting the rebound.
Denver right away sticking with their strategy of jumping Sam Cassell each time he comes off that screen and roll. We'll see if he can find that open roller as the game goes along.
And Denver in that 8-game home winning streak has averaged over 106 points a game. They went over 100 against Minnesota as Vashawn Leonard comes up empty in his first shot.
Garnett with the first rebound, and that has been the story of the series so far. Whichever team takes control of the boards seems to take care of the victory.
And Andre Miller diving for the loose ball. There are 12 seconds on the shot clock for Minnesota, winning the first 2 games impressively. You'd think Denver really not in either one of those first 2 games, but the exact opposite happened in game 3.
Well, they're a young team and they feed off of this crowd, and it'll be very interesting to see if they can do the same thing tonight.
And Sam Cassell is knocked on the floor, and the personal foul is called against Nene. Nene has been in foul trouble throughout this series, although he did have his best game with 4 slam dunks in their last meeting.
Well, speaking of dunks, Denver had 27 layups or dunks in game 3, 29 combined for games 1 and 2. So they got into the paint at will against Minnesota.
Hey, 60 points in the paint. Impressive. And now they call the offensive foul. And it will be on Sam Cassell, who's now explaining to Ron Garrison what he meant to do.
Well, Cassell's one of the craftiest guards in the league at doing this, setting screens and creating contact. He usually draws fouls at the other end of the floor. Here he gets called for one.
Here's Carmelo Anthony losing the ball, and on the turnover, Trenton Hassel, who's been really a thorn in Anthony's side with his defensive play for this series. Sam Cassell, who did not play an outstanding game. In fact, Flip Saunders said Sam didn't have a good game, and that's being polite, missing his first shot badly in this game. It goes over to Denver.
Yeah, not exactly a very diplomatic comment coming from his own coach, but I think Flip Saunders understands that Sam Cassell is a guy who responds to pressure situations, and he's very comfortable that he'll play well tonight.
So the idea is who can establish the inside and the paint first. Minnesota's been content to take the outside shot. Anthony now driving to the basket, and it's blocked by Irvin Johnson. Big defensive play by Johnson, stolen by Vashawn Leonard. He goes for the 3 and hits. Vashawn Leonard with 24 points in game 2 as the Nuggets leading scorer. And another turnover, the 3rd already by the Timberwolves.
Well, let's take a look at the block shot by Irvin Johnson. Anthony getting to the rim, but it's followed by 2 quick turnovers, the first of which leads to Vashawn Leonard's 3, and this is exactly what Minnesota.
Marcus Camby and John Barry both making comments that a win by Denver tonight would put a lot of pressure on Minnesota, considering they have not gotten out of the first round. And Flip Saunders and in fact, we were both surprised at a team that just barely made the playoffs so vocal after winning just 1 game.
I think they're trying to put a little pressure on Minnesota. They're playing the game right now. They know the Timberwolves have not been out of the first round. They're trying to put a little extra pressure on them.
Vashawn Leonard getting the loose ball after the miss by Anthony. Here is Nene with the open shot. And it's 5-0 with 2.5 minutes gone by.
Well, there's the penetration that can lead to open shots, and I think that's what Denver has to look at. If they can't get out onto the fast break, you've got to be able to penetrate, pick out for open jump shots.
Here's Latrell Sprewell hitting, and the streak shooter. Spree was on quite a streak when he scored 31 points back at the Target Center in game 2, hitting 7 of 8 from threes. The idea is to try to curtail one out of the top three as best you can. Hassel with a steal, and here is Garnett being chased by Nene and committing the foul. And I don't know about that because Nene now has 2 personal fouls. They cannot afford him to get into foul trouble, and Garnett shaken up, running into photographers and the fans beyond the stanchion.
Well, that very well could have been a flagrant foul, too. It wasn't called, but I don't know that Nene made a play on the ball. I think Bennett Salvatore right now is asking Ronnie Gerritsen if he thought it should have been flagrant. Ronnie said no, but let's take a look. Garnett in the open floor. He's going to go up and dunk this ball. Did he make a play on the ball? I guess a little bit there. Yeah, that's not flagrant, but these days you often see that called.
Now, Nene obviously enthused in wanting to make the defensive play, but he risked picking up the second in what would have been, you know, a 2-shot situation anyway.
And he played an excellent game 3. He's a very good defender on the low block. And you'll see Francisco Elson now coming into the game, who has played quite well in this series and matches up, at least as far as you can do so, with Kevin Garnett. Does a decent job on it.
Francisco Elson, rookie from California. And there are the numbers posted in the playoffs so far by Kevin Garnett, but shooting only 43%, and that's the one area where Garnett has not gotten on track. He has been a terrific playmaker. He has had 10 assists in one game and 8 in the last, so he'll find the open man as well. So Francisco Elson, as you mentioned, coming alive offensively and has played well after being ignored down the stretch, replacing Nene. 2 free throws by Garnett, and the first points for Kevin Garnett. 5-4 the score.
Remember what Flip Saunders said to us before the game. He said if Garnett gets it going early offensively, we're in good shape because we know he's going to do everything else.
Camby getting inside, and the reverse lay-in by Deshaun Leonard, who has 5 of Denver's first 7. Elson picking up Cassell on the switch. And here's Garnett defended by Camby. And Camby going after the ball, and nearly a steal. And all of a sudden, tempers flare. Not surprising, considering what has been said during the days off and the physical aspect of the last game led by Denver. And it looked like Francisco Elson and Irvin Johnson were the 2 in the middle, although Garnett was the one who had lost the ball momentarily.
Well, I think it was Camby and Johnson who really got into it, and they're the 2 who are being separated out. You see John McLeod, the assistant coach for Denver, now getting out and trying to restrain Camby. Look at the hustle, and this is just one of those plays where everybody's going after the ball, and you know what? It's a physical game. There's a lot of emotion riding on this game 4, and you got guys getting after it.
So Camby and Garnett scrapping for the ball, and then it was Johnson and Elson.
Now keep in mind, Dick, that after game 3 there was a little incident near the bus, near the Minnesota bus, where Francisco Elson and Garnett exchanged words. So there's a little bit of a history here from the previous game, and you can see emotions running high here for both sides.
And Irvin Johnson and Carmelo Anthony, double technical fouls are called, and Johnson as well as Garnett. So the jump ball, and it's controlled by Cassell, defended by Andre Miller. Big free agent signing this year, and the turnaround, the air ball as the shot clock expired. So the 24-second clock expired. What a turnover. 4th turnover, though. Irvin Johnson and Carmelo Anthony with the technical fouls. And the 4th turnover by the Timberwolves.
Well, Garnett looks maybe a little too excited tonight so far. I mean, he's here so far before the game. He's not used to doing that. Maybe he's got a little excess energy he's got to get rid of here.
Elson trying to pass it to a cutting Miller, and it was deflected off of Miller, and it goes over to the Timberwolves. So we have had a lot of activity in the first 4 minutes of the game. The Nuggets lead. Here's Sprewell, strong to the basket. Minnesota only 1 of 5 from the field in their opening foray, and Trenton Hassel committing the foul. Anthony trying to go to the rim. That's his game, and Hassel's done a good job of keeping him from there, but not here.
Well, I think Anthony, in the first 2 games in Minnesota, settled too much for long jump shots. Game 3, he really penetrated, got to the rim, and took advantage of that quickness and size that he has. This is his game, getting to the rim.
And he tries the perimeter shot. He was 9 for 20, but Camping beat Garnett for the offensive rebound. So far, Kevin Garnett, who was awfully angry after game 3, has been outplayed in the opening minutes.
And Camby with 8 offensive boards in game 3. He's off to another good start here.
8 on the shot clock. Here's Irvin Johnson, and Garnett with a pump fake shooting over Elson. And Camby the rebound. Tell you, Denver really blanketing the defensive board.
They're playing excellent defense and doing the job on the boards, which they have to do here tonight.
And Francisco Elson with an air ball. You can see a little bit of tension out here because even veteran players are throwing up air balls early. Here's Garnett, lays it in, the basket counts and a foul, and he just beat the Nuggets defense down court.
I think this is interesting because, you know, you've got Garnett, who's enthused, who's ready to go, who's fired up. You've got this Timberwolves team that was embarrassed in game 3. They want to come and make a statement early, but, you know, they have an advantage in the half court, Dick. They don't want this to be an up-tempo, wild game. The way they're starting, they're kind of playing into Denver's hands. I think it's important here for the Timberwolves to settle down a little bit, get the tempo back to their liking.
And that's why rebounding is such a key figure in this one, as Garnett with the three-point play. Garnett with 24 points in the last game, strangely enough, has not been the leading scorer for the Timberwolves in any of their first 3 games, and that's unusual. Elson left open at the top. Sprewell the rebound. And the Nuggets leading 9-7, and Minnesota looking to at least draw even. Johnson setting a pick for Sprewell. Well executed by Minnesota. Johnson setting a good screen.
Well, now they're settling down. They make a stop at one end. They come down, execute in the half court, get Sprewell involved. This is more like the way Flip Saunders wants his team to play.
Tied at 9, Garnett and Sprewell have all 9 points. And the three-point basket by Deshaun Leonard, his second of the game, and a quick start for the former University of Minnesota star. And it is now a 3-point Nugget lead.
Well, we saw Leonard get hot in game 2, but wasn't really on his game games 1 and 3. Important in the half court for him to be a factor here for Denver.
Sprewell changes hands and lays it in. So Sprewell off to a big start. So both players, Leonard and Sprewell, who had their best games in game 2, off to blazing starts.
And no coincidence, they're guarding each other. It's like a summer league game. I'll get mine, you get yours.
Is this exactly what a summer league game would be like?
Well, not quite.
Nuggets by 1 with 5.5 to go, and Leonard gets inside. Andre Miller, who played his college ball for Rick Majerus in Utah, and came over from the Clippers. He was with Cleveland as well, and it's again a 3-point lead. And a defensive 3-second violation. The call against the Denver Nuggets, and a timeout called by Jeff Bizdelik.
I mean, these guys have to give them something off the bench in terms of points.
All right, Dee, you're absolutely right, but Flip Saunders said that they started the season without those 2 players, and it wasn't as if Zerbiak had played 82 games, but they're going to have to fill the gap because he scored more than half of the bench scoring so far in the series, Dee.
That's right, and they were very accustomed to Zerbiak coming off the bench those last 25 games or so, and filling that scorer's role. So now they've got to get back to the way they were early in the season with Hoiberg coming out there and maybe Gary Trent, Mark Madsen, other guys filling in.
Cassell making good on the technical free throw on the defensive 3-second violation before the break. And the possession here is Cassell, and he hits the shot. Sam Cassell, who set a playoff career high and a playoff franchise record 40 points in the start of this series. Under 5 minutes to go in the first. T-Wolves and Nuggets tied at 14. And a foul away from the ball, and that is on Latrell Sprewell. To the delight of the crowd, that is only the second team foul on Minnesota.
Well, Deshaun Leonard has been hot here early on, 4 for 5 shooting, 10 points. So Denver really working Sprewell off some screens, trying to free up Leonard for an open shot.
going underneath, but traveled before the shot. No question that Trendon Hassel has wreaked havoc on Jeff Bzdelik's top rookie. 24 points though for Anthony. He was the leading scorer and the most ever points by a teenager in the playoffs. Anthony missing his first three, tied at 14. Minnesota looking for their first lead of the game and their first lead here in Denver. Hassel knocked away by Anthony with 10 on the shot clock.
Well, Anthony showed right there he can play solid defense too, and he's a young kid. He hasn't really put the work in that's necessary for him to be a great defender, but he'll learn, and I think he will be an excellent defender as his career goes on.
Kevin Garnett, and the rebound by Camby. 14 all in the first quarter. The Denver Nuggets trying to even the best of 7 at 2 games apiece. Camby going to Leonard, double team, and the fall away hitting. Deshaun Leonard, red hot, has 12 points so far on 5 for 6 from the field.
Well, this guy is hot or cold, one or the other. And game 2, we saw him break free for 14 points in the first quarter. Another hot start for him here tonight.
And they're calling the fouls away from the ball and really watching the action as Andre Miller called for his first personal.
Watch the crafty ball fake here by Deshaun Leonard, fooling Irvin Johnson and just getting him off balance enough to free himself up for that open shot.
And the kind of fake that you can have the ball knocked out of your hands by the bigger man at the same time.
Well, he executed it well, though.
And here's Garnett getting free from Elson, and we're tied at 16. All 16 points for the Timberwolves scored by their big three.
And no help defense by Minnesota. It looked like Andre Miller got caught on that UCLA cut, and Garnett wide open for that dunk.
So the Nuggets inexperienced in the ways of the playoffs. Deshaun Leonard feeling it and fighting for the rebound. Miller with a great save, and Camby prevents it from going into the backcourt. Here is Anthony trying to get on track, and an air ball. So he's pressing, no question, starting this game, missing his first 4. Down low in good position. Camby knocking the ball away from Garnett. Cassell losing the ball out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Nuggets.
Percentage. He had a great year for Minnesota. They're going to need his production as well.
And it's last touched by the Timberwolves as Hassel trying to get it into Garnett. So very careless first quarter as the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now they call an offensive foul on Kevin Garnett. So Garnett with the offensive foul, his first.
And how about Denver? Leonard on fire here, 12 points, but the rest of the team just 2 for 8 shooting. So Leonard just carrying this team. Denver would love to get out on the break and get Andre Miller going, get Carmelo Anthony to the rim, get some other scoring options involved.
Anthony is 0 for 4 thus far. 5 on the shot clock. Miller. And Anthony with the putback rolls off into the hands of Irvin Johnson.
A good sign for Denver. That's their 4th offensive rebound compared to 0 for Minnesota.
Sprewell misses a short baseline shot out of bounds going over to Denver. So Carmelo Anthony, who does his best work inside.
Well, he couldn't quite get this to go, but look at the length and the strength, the athleticism, just couldn't quite get the shot to go. Very slow start for Carmelo, but I think he did the right thing there. He's got to get to the paint, get to the rim.
And Flip Saunders claiming that Andre Miller stopped his dribble and began again. Here is Elson open, but Olowokandi has just come in at center, replacing Irvin Johnson. And they're going to expect some offense from him. Miller with 2 on the shot clock. And Garnett comes in and swoops it away. Kevin Garnett with 7 points to start this game. And as you pointed out, Leonard, the Nuggets leader with 12. Michael Olowokandi, former LA Clipper. And here is Garnett working against Camby, who ties him up, and the foul is called. And that is the 15th foul against the Denver Nuggets. It's the first on Camby, and Garnett will go to the line.
Well, we haven't seen a great offensive performance by Minnesota tonight, but you can see by their performance at the defensive end that they are ready to play tonight. They're energized. They're locking Denver up in the half court. And if not for Deshaun Leonard, I think Minnesota would have a little bit of a lead here.
And this is what really sparked the team down the stretch when they had the winning streak going into the playoffs of 9 games. Fred Hoiberg, who we showed you on the bench, finally coming into the game, replacing Trenton Hassel. And Garnett on the line shooting 2. So here is Hoiberg, and not only, as you mentioned, 4th in three-point shooting, Steve, but he had a torrid season against the Nuggets.
Played very well against Denver, and I think Flip Saunders wanted to wait until John Barry entered the game and work the matchups more to his liking. And now with Bashan Leonard out of the game, you'll see Hoiberg in there.
And John Barry comes in to defend against Hoiberg. Earl Boykins, the diminutive 5'5" spark plug, who has come off the bench and has averaged double figures, 13 a game. He has been outstanding.
Shot 53% for the 3 games. He has been absolutely terrific. And as you said, a spark plug that this crowd loves here in Denver.
The pick and roll. Camby trying to get it to Elson, and it is still Denver ball. And Boykins has not really cost them on the defensive end that much either at 5'5".
Well, I think Jeff Bzdelik thinks that he's got a few matchups where he can put Boykins. One, he can guard Hoiberg because Hoiberg's not really a post-up guy, and he can also guard Derek Martin out there.
Here's Carmelo Anthony, blocked by Garnett. Anthony again, blocked again, and Candy. What brilliant defense under the basket by the Timberwolves as Garnett and then Candy. Carmelo Anthony comes up empty after his first 7 shots.
Well, as we mentioned, Minnesota putting on the defense tonight. First the block by Garnett, next one by Candy, a third one by Candy. And if the shot clock hadn't run out, that would have been a layup at the other end for Latrell Sprewell. So Minnesota really defending tonight.
Still tied at 16, nearly a minute remaining in the opening quarter in a feverish game. 4, and Boykins with the steal.
That's what he does. He comes in and lights up this crowd with his defense, his shooting, and just his exciting play.
6 turnovers by Minnesota, and that's why they haven't had the lead. And there's the looping pass. Garnett foul. Garnett quickly going over his head with a blind shot and earning the personal foul, and will go to the free throw line again. It looks like he was hit hard on the foul as Elson picking up his 2nd.
A great feed by Derek Martin. He sees that Garnett has his man sealed. Garnett goes up, and Elson with the bump. Garnett exerting his will down in the paint area tonight here early. Hasn't really gotten going, but you can see his intent is to take over down low.
And Garnett gives the Timberwolves their, well, they're still trailing. They have a chance to tie it up now at 18. And they're coming into the game is Michael Doliak, replacing Camby. Camby goes out, scoring 2 points and getting 4 rebounds, but an active first quarter for him.
Very active, and another good start for him. The other thing that Garnett has done here, Rick, is he's getting these guys into foul trouble. You've got Elson with 2 already, Nene 2 quick ones early on. So Denver, as this game goes along, could have a little difficulty down low.
Tied at 18. Elson playing a lot of minutes. John Barry there, and the pushing foul as Boykins got pushed by Derek Martin. And it's the first in the final 2 minutes for the Timberwolves. So not a penalty situation.
And they've got a chance here for a quick 2-for-1 situation. Let's see if maybe we'll get a quick shot from Boykins and a 2nd possession for Denver. But good defense by Derek Martin.
Boykins with the turnaround. Candy with a rebound for a flash. We saw Candy guarding Boykins. That was interesting.
Nice matchup. A great job by Derek Martin keeping Boykins in front of him, and that allowed time to run off the clock. And look at, steal by Boykins. Boykins challenging Sprewell and lays it in. What a great igniter is Earl Boykins.
And the final seconds of this first quarter, the crowd loving Denver's effort here. And Martin losing control, going up, and the foul is called. Derek Martin was stumbling, and the personal is against Elson, and he picks up his 3rd. So 2 big men already in foul trouble for the Nuggets.
Let's take a look at the steal Remember, he just took one away from Derek Martin a moment ago. Sprewell doesn't even see him because he's down by his knees. He just comes from behind, grabs the ball, and then a nice finish here. A little English off the glass. This guy, so quick, so exciting.
And Derek Martin, the Denver native, still has a lot of friends and family in the area. As we said, the Nuggets rejected signing Derek Martin. He said, well, I'm glad I didn't sign with a team that won 17. Winds up after 3 different trials with the Timberwolves. Has played with the Clippers, Kings, and the Mavericks in his 8th year. Makes the free throws to tie it up at 20, and that'll do it. What a terrific first quarter.
And the Minnesota big people really clogging up that lane and making things difficult for Anthony.
Start of the second quarter, Chris Anderson in for the first time, and he has played defensively pretty well against the Timberwolves this year. And a double team on John Barry and Doliak with Miller and Boykins. The feed off of Anderson out of bounds goes over to Minnesota. In that first quarter, the Denver Nuggets out-rebounded Minnesota on the offensive glass 6-0, but they didn't really convert much of them. Minnesota, however, went to the line 10 times. The Nuggets, none. Cassell driving, and he'll go to the line again.
Well, Minnesota did what they did defensively all year, and that is just lock up Denver. They've done such a good job all season, and that's what I think vaulted them from a very good team in the West to one of the best teams in the West. They imposed their will defensively. They locked everybody up, and they're doing the same thing here tonight.
Mark Madsen replaces Kevin Garnett, who goes out with 9 points, but went to the line 7 times, converting 5 of them. And the Timberwolves have their first lead since coming to Denver. They're up 22-20 in the opening minute of the second.
Well, Garnett will get a couple minutes here to rest. I'm sure he won't be on the bench long, but Minnesota really has controlled the tempo, much to the happiness of Coach Saunders.
Good ball movement there, Steve, as Doliak found Chris Anderson to tie the game at 22.
Rare to see an offensive conversion in the half court by Denver because Minnesota's done such a nice job, but nice execution there.
And there's the feed. Anderson knocks it away. So Chris Anderson already making a contribution since coming into the game. And here is John Barry losing his footing, but Doliak. Barry, plenty of time on the shot clock. Sprewell guarding Boykins. Here's Earl Boykins. Earl Boykins with 6 points coming off the bench. Denver leads again. Coming off the screen is Sprewell. Sprewell had 6 in the first quarter and now has 8. Latrell Sprewell 4 for 6 from the field to start the game. So he could be a factor tonight.
Well, on the bench, look for Sprewell and Cassell to take most of the shots and try to generate the offense.
And the big three have accounted for over 70% of the offense for Minnesota so far in the series. Anderson gets hit in the face, and the foul is on Madsen.
Well, look at the dunk there. He gets so energized, showing everybody, hey, look, I got a perm the other day. How do I look?
Well, how does his face look now after the foul by Madsen? So 2 minutes have gone by. We're tied at 24 here in game number 4. And the foul called against Cassell, his second. So Sam Cassell has 2.
And that's huge, Dick, because he cannot afford to pick up a third. Minnesota has to have him on the floor tonight if they expect to win.
And the ball knocked away, and it's turned over. But Bennett Salvatore comes over to Ron Garretson, and the main thing, get it right, and it is still Nuggets ball. And nothing better than finally getting it right, and that's the teamwork that these officials are showing here.
It's their job. We've got a veteran crew here tonight, and they're used to doing this.
Barry and Boykins, the backup point guards, with Doliak and Anderson and Miller. Boykins with a leader. So Earl Boykins hitting 4 of his first 5.
Really, he was just trying to draw the foul, as Sprewell was trying to do there with Miller, but Boykins was able to knock his down.
Barry getting the rebound, so a 3-guard lineup for the Nuggets, and they went small as part of their big rush in game number 1. Or game number 3, when they came back and won. Here is Anderson open. Doliak tipping it, and the loose ball foul called against the Timberwolves and Michael Olowokandi interfering with Doliak. Flip Saunders trying to get the Minnesota Timberwolves beyond the first round for the first time in Minnesota's history. They had the home court advantage last year finally, but lost to the Lakers in 6.
He sure was confident before the game when we spoke with him, wasn't he?
Unusually so, even more than we've talked in the regular season. Andre Miller, Anderson with a foul. Chris Anderson with a great contribution so far. And with 3 minutes gone by, the Nuggets are up by 4. And on the bench, what surprises you so far about what the Nuggets have done?
Well, with Anthony, as you see, 0 for 7, and Andre Miller 0 for 2. You think Jeff Bzdelik would have thought his team could possibly have a lead with those two guys, a combined 0 for 9?
He wouldn't have said so, I'm sure, Steve.
No, but frankly, it's because of offensive rebounding and the play of Leonard, Boykins, and Anderson. They've all done a terrific job here.
Kevin Garnett came back in the game. Misses. Hoiberg kept it alive with an offensive rebound. 8:40 remaining in the second. And the shot off the rim taken by Trenton Hassel. Here's Boykins for 3. Crashing the boards is Andre Miller, but it comes down to the Timberwolves as Anthony went out of the game and Marcus Camby came back in for Denver. Nuggets by 4, trying to even the best of 7 of 2 games apiece. Cassell on the drive and dish. Olowokandi was not ready for the pass.
He's not used to getting the ball in that spot.
John Barry comes back with a 3. So the turnover at one end, the 3-pointer, and Denver is up by 7. Matches their biggest lead of the game.
Dick, Denver has taken 16 more field goal attempts than Minnesota. Shocking statistic, mostly due to offensive rebounds and turnovers.
And they had the big edge in offensive rebounds in game 3 as well. And the offensive foul called as Barry kept his position. And the foul is against Olowokandi, the big man. 2 on Olowokandi.
Well, take a look at the push-off here. Olowokandi trying to get position, and he just throws that elbow into Camby. Nice little acting job there by Marcus. But Minnesota reeling a little bit. They look a little rattled. Guys yelling at each other a little bit, and Denver just feeding off this crowd.
And this was the recipe that Jeff Bzdelik told us he wanted to come out strong. Don't let Minnesota dominate early, and they certainly have it. Boykins with a lead in. Anderson trying to save it out of bounds, and it is off the knee of Minnesota. Denver has it.
How about the contribution so far of Chris Anderson? Look at this. Saves it right off of Fred Hoiberg. Unbelievable play. This guy has energized this crowd and given Denver a huge lift.
And hey, how about 8 offensive rebounds? Barry from the baseline, the rebound by Garnett. It's been an 11-2 run by the Denver Nuggets to open up their biggest lead of this first half. Cassell and Anderson. What an inspired game for Chris Anderson. Here's Boykins penetrating. And the foul underneath, and it goes the other way. So the offensive foul goes against the Denver Nuggets. And the foul is called against Andre Miller, his second.
Well, Boykins couldn't quite get this thing to go. You see how difficult it is for him to get shots over to bigger people. And of course, everyone on the floor is bigger than he is. But he has been terrific tonight. And, you know, you come into a game, Dick, and you don't know what you're going to get off of your bench. But if you're Jeff Bzdelik and you think, man, look at what I've gotten from Boykins, from Anderson. John Barry came in and hit a 3. This Denver bench has been terrific.
And Chris Anderson was the first man off the bench and waves to the crowd. He's certainly quite a personality, as Anderson, known as the Birdman.
Does look a little like Mark Fidrich, the old real bird.
Former Detroit Tiger pitcher. Fidgety Mark Fidrich. Garnett from the baseline. Garnett now 2 of 7 from the field. It is still a 7-point Denver lead. Minnesota has only 1 field goal, and we're nearly halfway through the second quarter.
Denver is really collapsing hard now on the interior. Minnesota's got to make some perimeter shots to open things up.
Nene returning into the game, misses inside. Nene picking up 2 early fouls, went to the bench. And that's why Anderson had an opportunity. Cassell with the turnaround. He won't stay quiet for long. Right now he has 7.
Well, ideally, Jeff Gazdilik would like Andre Miller to guard Cassell because he can do a better job on that post-up. But in transition, sometimes there's a cross match, and if Boykins gets stuck on Cassell, he's going to post him up.
There's Andre Miller in the lane. First basket for Andre Miller, coming off a 19-point effort, his best scoring game of the series.
Let's see if Denver collapses again on Garnett.
Cassell trying to see if he has the hot hand. Trenton Hassel gets the offensive rebound, and he misses out of bounds. And last touched by Minnesota. This is Conk
Leaving people open for perimeter shots. Minnesota's going to have to knock some down.
Andre Miller, Earl Boykins, along with Carmelo Anthony, Nene, and Marcus Camby. Under nearly 5.5 to go in this first half. Nene defended by Irvin Johnson, who returns to the game that started at center. And Garnett getting the rebound. 33-26. Nuggets again with the 7-point lead. It's been their biggest of the first half. Cassell over to Garnett. And Garnett did not get a good pass from Cassell. It was a little bit low for the quick shot.
Well, as a shooter, you want to get a good pass to give you some rhythm. Didn't happen there for Garnett.
Cassell on the push. So Sam Cassell with his 3rd foul. That is huge because Derek Martin, well, Sprewell gets the call. And they're going to go with Sprewell and perhaps Hoiberg in the backcourt.
Well, Miller getting his body, doing a little Sam Cassell impersonation. Actually, Cassell loves to do that. Get a guy on his back and then see the contact. Miller doing a nice job. That's a big foul. And we'll see what the Timberwolves do. It looks like they're going to play Latrell Sprewell now at the point.
With Hoiberg, the shooting guard, so Derek Martin stays on the bench. That was the 4th team foul on Minnesota as well. Next one in a penalty. Anthony misses a 2-point attempt out of bounds, and Anthony really struggling at 0 for 8 as we send it over to D-Liner.
In that last Minnesota huddle, there was a lot of tension and frustration, and really guys getting in each other's face saying, we got to run our sets. We're playing right into their hands by taking the quick shot. It'll be interesting, Dick, to see how they run their offense with their best point guard on the bench.
That's for sure. That Sprewell, the point guard, losing it inside. Hassel coming back with the alert lands.
Well, you saw who brought the ball up for Minnesota, Kevin Garnett. He's going to handle the ball here. That way, there's no pressure in the backcourt from the Denver guards.
And when Troy Hudson first went out, Garnett indeed was the point guard. Anthony still trying to get on track, still trying to settle for outside shots to no avail. He's now 0 for 9.
See, I don't like what he's done here the last 2 possessions. When you're 0 for 7 and you're as big and strong as Carmelo Anthony is, get to the rim.
Here's Hoiberg. He missed the 3. And it looks like Anthony is saying, I don't know what the score is. I'm trying to get going in this game.
Yeah, but as a rookie, sometimes you don't know how to get going. And usually the superstar players, when they're not shooting well, they find a way to get to the foul line. Anthony has not been able to do that tonight.
Boykins throwing it away into the hands of Hassel. Of course, Michael Jordan would do it off the rebounding and the playmaking. Here's Hoiberg laying it in, and a great feed that time for the basket by Kevin Garnett.
Minnesota, they have to understand this is part of the process. If you're going to advance, you're going to run into good teams and hostile environments. You got to weather the storm, continue to play your game, and grind it out for the victory.
Camby's pass inside to Carmelo Anthony. They're trying to get him to get good position inside, but the Timberwolves collapsed on it, got the turnover. Nearly 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Latrell Sprewell from 3-point misses. Camby saves it to Anthony. 3-point lead for the Denver Nuggets. Doliak setting the screen, getting the pass back, and the wide open shot. Miller inside. Well, he has been tremendous with the offensive rebound, sneaking in amongst the Giants.
Well, we talked about Earl Watson the other night in Memphis. Excellent rebounding guard. And Andre Miller, one of the better rebounding point guards as well.
Leonard, who was hot early, cooled off some, trying to get the shooting eye back. Minnesota down by 3. They were trailing by as many as 7, and here is Garnett inside, no basket. And a foul before the shot on Doliak, his second. Tomorrow, NBA tip-off presented by Gatorade at 10 p.m., followed by, and it should be dramatic, the Lakers at home trying to wrap it up against the Houston Rockets. Lakers lead 3-1 as a result of their overtime win on Sunday. Earl Boykins coming in, replacing Andre Miller. Miller has only 2 points, but has had a terrific first half, doing a lot of other things, including rebounding.
Well, Miller's a guy who can do a lot of things. He doesn't have to rely on his scoring to play well.
Garnett fouled by Doliak as spinning around. Doliak picking up his second quick foul, third in the game.
Well, we've got some interesting matchups here now, Dick, with Cassell on the bench and the Timberwolves playing a big lineup. You see Denver countering, and they've got a big lineup of their own out there. And now Earl Boykins will cover Fred Hoiberg.
Sprewell. And Garnett open for the shot and hitting. So good reversal by the Timberwolves, and Kevin Garnett now with 11.
And you see the difference between him and Carmelo Anthony and the way they're getting themselves going.
And Camby from Boykins.
2 minutes.
And an offensive rebound by Doliak. Under 2 minutes to go. Doliak.
Nice feed from Boykins. Kevin Garnett just 3 for 9 here, but he hasn't forced the issue. He's waiting to see if he's open. He's making some nice passes out of the double team on the block. So Carmelo Anthony could learn something from him here tonight.
How about Boykins? And unfortunately, what was a spectacular steal by Boykins and save, still Minnesota ball.
Well, nice little cut by Garnett and great help from Boykins, but he just couldn't quite save it before stepping on that line.
Earl Boykins has been a gem for the Denver Nuggets so far in this series. 3-point Denver lead. Nearly a minute and a half remaining. Garnett left open for the jumper, and it goes again. So they're double teaming the wrong guy, and Kevin Garnett open for the jump shot now with 13 points.
Well, I think Denver forgot that wasn't Sam Cassell coming off the screen. They're jumping Cassell every time, but not Hoiberg.
Camby driving to the basket is fouled. And we'll go to the line. And I want to remind you the Verizon Wireless halftime report coming up next with EJ, Kenny, and Charles. Alonzo Mourning is the guest in our studios, and highlights from game 1 tonight between the Heat and the Hornets. So the Nuggets going to the free throw line for the first time in the game with 1:19 to go in the half. Minnesota didn't go to the free throw line in game 3 till there was a minute and a half to go in the half.
Well, that's another reason for the disparity in field goal attempts that we talked about. Minnesota's been at the line, Denver has not. So it's not just the offensive rebounding and the turnovers, but it's the free throw situation as well.
The lead is 2 for Denver. There's the free throw story. Hoiberg couldn't convert on the feed from Garnett. Boykins going all the way, and a block by Irvin Johnson. And now Minnesota pushing it up with Trenton Hassel. And Hassel, too many steps. Should have passed it off. He had a couple of guys open on the wing.
He had Fred Hoiberg wide open for a jump shot, but you know, normally in that situation, Sam Cassell has the ball. With Cassell on the bench, you end up with Hassel leading the fast break, something he's not used to doing.
Sam Cassell on the bench has scored 7, but only 2 of 5. And 3 personal fouls, so he has been taken out of the equation at least to this point. 10 on the shot clock, just under 40 seconds to go in the half. Marcus Camby, Anthony trying to get the offensive rebound, but it comes down anyway to Boykins. Here's Anthony, who has not scored. Camby trying to keep control, and the foul is called against Minnesota. Camby is knocked down, and the personal foul is against Irvin Johnson, 2 on him. And the penalty situation will send Marcus Camby to the free throw line. So he has taken the only free throws thus far for Denver.
Well, Carmelo Anthony does a nice job there of passing the ball out of the double team, being patient and finding the open man. And I think that's what he's got to do here. He's struggled all half. Take your time, hit the open guy, and get a shot in rhythm, get to the foul line, get yourself going.
Camby limited is still very much in this thing.
Well, they're right in it, and this is totally unlike the other night when Denver just ran them out of the gym. This is a game that is more at the Timberwolves' liking, the tempo, the pace of the game. So they're actually in decent shape, and if they can stay out of foul trouble, particularly Cassell, I would think they'll be able to wear this Denver team down in the second half.
And that's surprising since Denver has dominated the offensive boards. They haven't been able to run like they want. Here's Sprewell passing out with 2 on the shot clock. Fred Hoiberg hitting. So Fred Hoiberg getting his second field goal, and the final seconds as Carmelo Anthony, no good. It was waved off by Bennett Salvatore before the shot went up. Now they may want to take a look at this anyway. No basket.
How about the frustration for Carmelo Anthony? He's 0 for 9. He's struggling. He can't get anything to go. He finally makes a half-court shot. But take a look. I think it's right after that light goes on.
Right.
Good call by Bennett Salvatore.
He was behind the play, and he saw the clock.
Such a spark for your team coming off the bench at both ends of the floor. Do you find that do you feel you're frustrating Timberwolves a little bit?
I think the biggest difference is they don't have anyone quick enough to stay in front of me yet. And I just want to go out there and play hard, try to create havoc both offensively and defensively, try to help my team get a win.
Earl, no 2 games are the same, but the pace of this is very different than game 3. As it continues on, is this the way you guys want to play it?
Yes, I think the pace is fine, but when we get down the court on offense, I think we're having too many lapses. We're going 3-4 possessions without getting a good shot, and that's why they got back in the game. We just have to stay consistent on the offensive end, and defensively, I think we're playing pretty well.
All right, Earl, thanks for your time. Good luck in that second half. Dick, obviously.
And I think in order for them to win, though, they'll need a much better effort from their starters and better scoring.
Boykin scoring 8 points, and taking advantage of turnovers was another key. Nene hitting the first shot to start the third quarter as the Denver Nuggets had a +8 in the turnover comparison after 11 turnovers by Minnesota in the first half. So Nuggets regained the lead. Sam Cassell, who had 4 turnovers, 3 fouls, and only 7 points in the first half, out there with Hassel, Sprewell, Garnett, and Irvin Johnson. Here's Sprewell, tipped out, and it's going to be Deshaun Leonard who leads the Denver Nuggets with 12, and way off is Anthony with the 3. Nearly the follow-up by Miller out of bounds. Last touch by the T-Wolves.
I ran into Scott Hastings at halftime, who used to play for the Detroit Pistons, and he said, you know, this is like a Bulls-Pistons game back in the late 80s, just defense and intensity. There's Scott, Denver broadcasting now.
Deshaun Leonard now with 14 points. He had 12, all 12 in the first quarter, did not score in the second, and a 4-point lead for the Nuggets. No one complained that the Denver or the Detroit Pistons bad boys were a dull team.
Well, you're not dull if you win. That's just the way it is. Winning solves everything.
Getting the ball back, Garnett on the turnover, and he smashes it through. So after missing the reverse layup, Garnett recovers. He has 15.
Well, he's been quiet all night, but you look at the stats, he's got 15 points and 7 boards. So no matter what happens, those numbers are always going to be there for Kevin Garnett.
Who right now is defending Camby. Camby making a move to the basket and foul. He beat Garnett to the basket in emphatic fashion and can convert a 3-point play as Garnett chalks up his second.
Well, Garnett making the mistake of going after a pump fake from Marcus Camby. He's not a shooter. Garnett's got to stay down on the floor, but he doesn't, and Camby takes advantage, gets to the rim, throws it down. No help from the weak side on Minnesota.
Marcus Camby looking for his 6th point of the game. Was the co-scoring leader in game 1 with Carmelo Anthony with 19 points at the Target Center. Minnesota won the first 2 games each by 14 points. They have led here only once, that by a bucket at 22-20. Denver's biggest lead was 7. Cassell trapped with Garnett. Hassel left open. Leonard went over to Sprewell, leaving Trenton Hassel wide open for the jumper.
Good ball movement by Minnesota, and they've got to have more contributions from their perimeter players like Hassel. We saw Fred Hoiberg come in the second quarter, knock down a couple shots. They need more of that as this game goes on.
Under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Nuggets lead the T-Wolves 43-40. There's the double team on Cassell. Irvin Johnson is open underneath. And they're going to call the foul, and they'll charge it to Bashan Leonard. So the longest drought from the start of the game in his career, 27 minutes for Carmelo Anthony, who was 0 for 10 from the field, has not scored, and had a three-pointer at the buzzer at halftime waved off because it came after the clock expired.
Well, he's too good not to either get a layup or get to the foul line. He's the kind of guy who can score about 5 different ways, whether it's knocking down a three or getting an offensive rebound, getting to the foul line. He's got to concentrate now on running the floor, playing defense, just hustling, because eventually something will go his way.
1 out of 2 for Irvin Johnson. Nuggets with the ball, up by 2. Looking to tie the series and send it back to Minneapolis and make it a best of 3. Anthony with a turnaround. Still the drought, 0 for 11 now.
And at some point, let's give some credit to Trenton Hassel. He's been in his face all night.
Garnett, defended by Nene. Double team with Miller. Garnett looking to get rid of it. 7 on the shot clock. Here's good ball movement again. And this time, Trenton Hassel hit again. Trenton Hassel with 2 buckets here in the third quarter. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Still Denver's ball as we're tied at 43 as we check in with D-line.
Well, Dick, obviously Flip Saunders said, you know, rebounding and turnovers were our problem in the first half, but he really thought the final 4 minutes of that half, his team played the way they're capable, the way they want to play. He said it's the first time we've done that since we've arrived in Denver.
Bashan Leonard from outside, and Minnesota can take the lead.
Well, and what they did during that span was they finally made a couple of outside shots, and Cassell drawing the foul there. That's going to be 3 free throws. So I agree with Flip Saunders. This game is now being played more at Minnesota's pace. And if they can knock down shots, that's going to open up things on the inside for Kevin Garnett.
And as you mentioned, 42% shooting. And Sprewell was at 50%. You figure that Sam Cassell is going to go on one of his streaks. Right now, Cassell is 2 for 5 from the field and hitting the first free throw.
Well, since game 1, when Cassell had 40 points, you can see Denver has made a real effort to trap him every time he's come off a screen. They've been very aggressive with him, really holding him down. And that's been so key for Denver, and they're getting back into this series.
Miller fouled Cassell, and he was on the line, so it was only 2 free throws. Nene goes out. What a move by Nene, and where has that been? Nene, in his second year from Brazil, known as Nene Hilario last year, decided to go with only 1 moniker.
You dunk like that, you can go by 1 name.
Yeah, or just Ed. And there's the layup by Hassel, who has 6 of his 8 points already here in the third quarter. Timberwolves leading by 2, 47 to 45, matching their biggest lead of the game, and the blocking foul on Hassel as Anthony going in. But what an explosion by Nene.
This guy is so gifted. Watch the little move and then switch it over to the left hand. Dunk over everybody. Incredible move by Nene. Just Nene.
They just call him Nene. Nene to you and to me. Here's Anthony. Nothing. And Cassell getting the rebound. Anthony now 0 for 12. T-Wolves lead by 2. Cassell into Garnett. And the foul called with 8:06 on the clock. And going to the line will be Kevin Garnett as Marcus Camby with his second personal foul. Minnesota looking to open up their largest lead, albeit a small one, right here.
Well, they've had a few important plays here in the second half. Trenton Hassel knocking down 2 jump shots was big. Sam Cassell getting to the foul line, hitting a few free throws to get himself going, and now Garnett getting to the line himself. So again, this tempo is to their liking, and they're starting to settle down here.
Garnett has not led the Timberwolves in scoring in any of the first 3 games.
That's going to change tonight.
Without question. 17 points, the closest to him. Sam Cassell with 9, and Minnesota on an 11-2 run. Up by 4. These are crucial minutes coming up right here for Denver. Leonard trying to post up against Sprewell. And Leonard has it blocked away and deflected, and Garnett trying to pass the ball out, and a foul is called. So the Personal foul will be against Deshaun Leonard.
Well, you were right, Nick. These are crucial minutes for Denver. They haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Remember, the only reason they're in the game is because of their bench, so they may need that same production from Boykins and company here in the second half.
Garnett trying to get around Nene, and Nene committing his third foul, picked up too early and had to go to the bench. And there is Earl Boykins, who has been a factor for anything Denver has done. They were beaten soundly in the first 2 games at the Target Center, came back and won game 3, and has been a major factor in all 3.
He's been terrific, and John Barry, Chris Anderson, they've played well also, but I just have a hard time seeing Denver beat Minnesota without its starting unit playing well, without Anthony getting some points on the board, without the team running and fast breaking like they like to do.
Garnett hitting the first free throw, and with 7:34 left in the third, Timberwolves will be shooting the penalty. It's a lot of time.
And they've already got a huge free throw advantage here, and that will probably increase in this quarter now.
And right now, that's 20 free throws for Minnesota, only 5 for Denver. Garnett 9 of 11 from the line, 19 points. 51-45, the block by Irvin Johnson. Deshaun Leonard trying to challenge the center. Sprewell losing control of the ball, and a jump ball is called by Ronald Lisiak. Minnesota looking to win this game on the road and go back home for game number 5 and a chance to advance to the second round for the first time in their playoff history after 7 times getting knocked out in round 1.
And Charles Barkley talked about it at halftime. These are the kinds of games that if you're the #1 seed, you win. You're on the road, you're challenged, you're in a tough situation. You got to go out and win these games.
And you're expected to win without being extended. And they're going to call Denver with the offensive foul, and the crowd not liking that one. Carmelo Anthony with the foul, his first. Sam Cassell over talking to Jeff Bzdelik, and whatever it was that got Cassell mad with what Bzdelik said has been patched up.
Well, Cassell was trying to take the ball out of bounds, and Bzdelik was kind of in his way, so Sam pushed him a little bit. Bzdelik said, I'm not going to take any of that. He pushed him right back.
But all you have to do is smile like Sam could smile, and that erases everything.
That's right.
He's won 2 championships while a member of the Houston Rockets. And Cassell 2 of 6 from the field. Minnesota leading by 6, despite the fact that Cassell has not been a factor. Andre Miller going up, and he'll go to the line and shake it up a bit as he hits the floor with Sprewell.
See, he pushes him out of the way there, and
that wasn't a friendly push.
That's right. And then Cassell puts on the charm. He says, oh, I was just kidding, coach.
After the shove, he says, I'm only kidding.
Shove him first and then apologize.
Foul was on Sprewell, and Miller to the free throw line. And as we mentioned, as Andre Miller in the line, Jeff Bzdelik unsure of what his future is. Now, team getting in the playoffs. He got a hefty bonus and another year on his contract, but Kiki Vandeweghe, who is the general manager, has given no indication as of yet that Jeff Bzdelik, there's Kiki, who's done a terrific job with his club, and Denver hoping to keep him against the clutches of some other clubs. Whether Bzdelik's future is safe or not.
Well, Kiki has a long-term plan, and he's been reluctant to spend all of his cap room last summer. He's been reluctant to give Jeff Bzdelik a long extension. I think he wants to wait to see how things turn out this summer in the free agent market. And in the long run, you got to think Bzdelik will get the extension.
Steal by Anthony, finally breaks through. Carmelo Anthony did it by a defensive play and an easy lay-in. His first points of the game, and it comes with 6:24 remaining in the third. Who would have thought that would happen?
Well, again, that's how the great players do it. Get it done at the other end. Get yourself going defensively.
And Cassell with a 3. So if Anthony starts to go, maybe Sam Cassell will as well. He has 12 points, and that three-pointer getting the T-Wolves a 54-48 lead. Nene falling off the rim.
It's a half-court game here. Other than Carmelo's steal, it's been a half-court game.
Anthony fouls Garnett hard. And at halftime, You saw a little bit of the activity in game number 3 with Andre Miller and Anthony and Cassell. They hugged each other, it's Cassell and Anthony. Here's the great steal by Anthony. He says, can't hit the outside shot. Looking for his 20th point.
Well, they're doing what you have to do to win games on the road in the playoffs. They're finally taking care of the rebounding situation here in the third quarter. They're not turning the ball over as much, and they're relying on their defense to just wear Denver out. And now the Nuggets will try to get another spark from Earl Boykins, try to get themselves going here.
Minnesota going to the free throw line 15 times more than Denver. And Garnett, 11 of 13, has 21 points. Under 6 minutes remaining in the third. Biggest lead of the game right now for the Timberwolves. Looking to take the lead and perhaps finish off Denver at home. Nene with 8 on the shot clock. Here's Miller over Cassell. Andre Miller.
Well, Denver has to have Miller get going here, and now they've gone to this small backcourt with Boykins and Miller, so it's a chance for them to open things up a little bit, get some speed out there, try to get into the open floor.
And Denver has to do a defensive job right here in the half court. That's where Minnesota has excelled. Sprewell with the pump fake on Anthony. And the rebound by Anthony coming down hard on his left leg and hurt. Hopefully momentarily. And Camby tells the indicates to the trainer to come out.
And you're right, hopefully. Boy, that looks scary, and this crowd hushed.
At first it looked like Anthony was grabbing onto his left leg.
Now let's take a look at the replay. He goes up and grabs the rebound off the miss from Sprewell, and we'll see him go down awkwardly. Gets a little bump from Camby right there, and then he awkwardly goes down with that knee flexed in a strange position here. Gosh, I hope that's not serious.
He is going to be helped off. Now he says, I'm going to go back to and a standing ovation for Anthony. They were going to help him off and go into the locker room, and he all of a sudden did an about face.
Think this crowd's happy to see that?
Carmelo Anthony, who averaged 21 points a game and led the Denver Nuggets into the playoffs for the first time in 9 years as the third pick in the draft, shaken up, has only 2 points tonight, 1 for 13, but they need number 15 out there, the rookie, if they have any hopes of getting back into it. Going to the locker room, John Barry has replaced him in the lineup. He's defending Latrell Sprewell right here with plenty of time on the shot clock, under 5 minutes to go in the third. Kevin Garnett going in, block, and the call goaltending against Marcus Camby.
About that sequence, Garnett with his long arm hitting to the rim, and watch Camby come out of nowhere. And yeah, that ball is on a downward arc because Garnett's about 2 feet over the rim when he shoots it.
Well, you were talking about how Denver's bench has kept them in the game, and they've got Barry and Boykins at guard and Miller, so they in essence have 3 guards in the game as Miller is short with it, and Nene with a no-look pass into Miller lays it in. We have seen Nene with some flashes, and if this is what his future's about, he's got a pretty good future.
He does have some potential, and when he figures out a game down on the low block, he's really going to be something. He's not quite sure what he's doing yet, but terrific pass there.
And great experience for him to be in the playoffs in his second year in the NBA. Here's Sprewell with a runner, and Camby getting the rebound. Quick outlet to Boykins. Boykins challenging Hoiberg, who has come into the game. And here is Barry, no one to defend him. Misses, Miller misses, as the Nuggets miss 2 layups.
Now, frustrating miss for Barry, and Denver has rarely gotten into the paint tonight. 60 points in game 3 for Denver in the paint. They've struggled tonight in that regard.
And here is, now Barry tried the alley-oop to Camby. Fortunately, the Nuggets still get the ball. They have 14 on the shot clock.
They've got mismatches all over the floor here.
And they have Sprewell on Camby, and they smartly get it in to Marcus Camby, stripped away by Irvin Johnson, and Nene is fouled. Nene finally fouled, and Irvin Johnson called for the personal. 3 on Johnson.
Well, in the scramble on the change of possession, Denver ended up with some advantages at the other end of the floor because of the cross matches, and Camby decided to go to the rim against his old teammate from the Knicks, Mr. Sprewell. And Nene getting in there, picking up the ball in that scrum, will go to the line.
Denver only 3 of 7 from the line. What's shocking, not so much the 3, but the 7. Only 7 times. And Nene making good on the first free throw. You mentioned Sprewell and Camby, very close friends, not only former teammates as you mentioned, but very good buddies as Nene tries to bring the Nuggets to within 4. 3:23 remaining in the third.
So tough to win a playoff game when you can't get to the foul line. It's because the defense has been picked up. There's a lot of intensity, and now look at this matchup. You got Boykins guarding Garnett out on the perimeter. Hassel and Hoiberg along with Sprewell. So in essence, you have 2 teams with 3-guard lineups. Here is Garnett, and Garnett tipped in by Irvin Johnson. He doesn't score many points, has only 3 tonight, but he does all the dirty work and cleans up. And he does a nice job when Garnett draws so much attention as he did on that possession. Johnson certainly capable of grabbing an offensive rebound.
And the Timberwolves have the edge in the second chance points department, which were dominated by Denver in game number 3, and Boykins throws it away.
Good steal by Hoiberg, and again with Cassell on the bench, we'll see more of this. Kevin Garnett bringing the ball up the floor and immediately going down to the block.
He can play all 5 positions. How about that pass? And a 3-second violation charge against the Timberwolves. You know, with all the things that he does as a point guard, he's a pretty good passer. He has a lot of assists for a big guy.
Oh, he's an excellent passer. He can pretty much do whatever he wants on the floor. That's why he's probably going to win the MVP, Dick.
He's had an MVP season without question. 6-point deficit. Camby bluffing against Garnett and in and out on his attempt.
Look at the pace of this game. It's just pure Minnesota. Everything's a half-court possession for Denver. Almost everything's a perimeter shot. Not getting anything easy like they did in game 3.
Under 2 minutes to go, and if it weren't for the first half turnovers, Minnesota would have had a healthy lead there. And there is Garnett with a no-look pass to Trendon Hassel. And matching their biggest lead of the game are the Timberwolves, 8 points, 62-54, with 1:40 remaining. And with Carmelo Anthony in the locker room after suffering an injury, Nene working inside and will go to the line to shoot 2 with 1:33 on the clock.
Personal foul number 32.
Well, the deficit is only 8, but it feels like 15 because this crowd has been taken out of the game, and Minnesota has really grabbed control of the tempo, and they're struggling every time down the floor to score the basket.
Nene 2 for 2 thus far from the stripe, has 8 points. Deshaun Leonard with 14, still the scoring leader for Denver. He had 12 after the first quarter.
We see that a lot from him. You know, game 2, he came out and had 14 first quarter points and then didn't score again until late in the third. So he's hot and cold.
Well, right now, hopefully hot and ready to go is Carmelo Anthony. And listen to the cheers as he comes back on the floor.
Well, we love to see that. You obviously don't want anybody to be hurt, but especially a young kid with this kind of potential and such a bright future in the league. Nothing worse than a devastating knee injury. Looks like he's okay.
Nene trying to make 1 out of 2. All right, Dee, what's the story with Carmelo?
Well, Dick, I think they were erring on the side of caution. They just really wanted to make sure he was okay because he wanted to stay in the game. They put him through a few things back there in the hallway, and in fact, he is able to return and play.
And there is Hassel trying to make that extra pass inside to Gary Trent in the game for the first time, and Hassel finally scores. So Hassel giving the Timberwolves some offense. He has scored 10 of his 12 points here in this third quarter. And it is now 64-55. The biggest lead of the game is now 9 points for Flip Saunders as the foul called against Fred Hoiberg. Carmelo Anthony getting set to come in the game. So apparently there was no injury to Carmelo Anthony, even though he was wincing, holding on to his left leg, wearing a bit of a wrap there.
Well, at least no serious injury, but it looked like it hurt, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't think he would have gone to the locker room with no injury.
They want to be careful about things, Dick. You know, check it out. Remember we talked about Minnesota just before the half. They couldn't hit any outside jump shots. And Denver was really loading up on the inside. I think the key to this third quarter has been Trenton Hassel's first 2 jump shots from the outside. That got him going. He's since added a couple of more buckets. And now things are opening up a little bit offensively for Minnesota.
And you're right, Hassel, who was a defensive stopper, doing the job on Carmelo Anthony, contributing big time offensively to the tune of 12 points. And coming right back and getting the basket is Latrell Sprewell, who is in double figures with 10. Under a minute remaining in the third, and a 9-point lead for Minnesota. Boykins, along with Leonard, Anthony, Nene, and Marcus Camby. Anthony was out 4 minutes into the locker room, going up, deflected away. Leonard with the 3, he's got it. Deshaun Leonard, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, makes it a 6-point game.
What a huge shot. This game is slipping away from Denver, but they've got a chance here to close this quarter strongly and keep this a close game. Chance to go for a quick 2 for 1. But they may just slow it down and try to get one good shot here.
Sprewell. And here comes John Barry just entering the game. Leonard for another 3. Deshaun Leonard back-to-back threes. Cuts the lead to 3.
Great feed from John Barry, who really pushed the ball up the floor, which is so important. Finding the hot man, and now Denver's right back in this thing.
That's Denver's game, getting up court in a hurry. Time running out. Sprewell way outside. Sprewell going in for the layup. Ball knocked away. That'll do it for the third quarter. Big comeback for the Denver Nuggets. They were down by 9, and they cut the deficit to 3. Sam Cassell, Trenton Hassel, along with Kevin Garnett and Michael Olowokandi in there. Deshaun Leonard, Earl Boykins. Francisco Elson comes in, along with Anthony and Nene. Hoiberg hitting. Big basket by Hoiberg, who was big down the stretch of the first half.
Confident stroke there, too. Catching and shooting without hesitation.
Doing the Steve Kerr number just in front of the three-point line, I might add.
Not anymore, Dick. You got nothing left.
Well, you emptied your tank pretty impressively. Carmelo Anthony off the glass, and Cassell with the rebound. Anthony now 1 for 14, and the Nuggets trailing the Timberwolves by 5. Cassell has not had an explosion in this game. Remember, he scored 40 points in game 1, and he is fouled by Boykins.
We'll see if Boykins and Leonard switch, and they do. Leonard will guard Cassell, but in transition, there are times when they get switched up, and Cassell immediately goes to the post every time with Boykins on it.
Kevin Garnett, who has 23 points and 10 rebounds, looking to post up against Elson, now setting the screen for Cassell. Trenton Hassel as the buzzer sounds. Denver trailing by 5 early in the fourth. Hoiberg defending Leonard.
A good recovery by Minnesota. Leonard looked like he was going to get an open 3.
Hassel strips the ball away on the attempted shot by Carmelo Anthony. And here is Hoiberg again from the corner. 3-pointer for Fred Hoiberg. He has scored 9 points off the bench. So Hoiberg off the bench, filling in for Zerbiak, and Hassel giving Minnesota some added points.
With Wally Zerbiak or Wally Pip? He might be on the bench for a while if Fred Hoiberg shoots like this.
And Hassel doing it at both ends. Ball knocked away. And Hoiberg has it. And the timeout was called before the tie-up. So Hoiberg calls the 22nd timeout.
And Hoiberg's nickname from Kevin Garnett, Freddie P, as in Paxson. He said, "You're my John Paxson."
Here's Hoiberg, has the hot hand. Elson snares away the rebound. 8-point lead for Minnesota. We'll see if the Nuggets can make it close again. They have several times. And this is the crucial fourth quarter. Ball knocked away. 11 seconds for the Nuggets to try a shot. Marcus Camby coming back into the game. Camby scored 6 points while he was in there. And Elson will take a seat.
Now, you're right. This is a crucial time here, these next few minutes for Denver. The only way they stayed in it late third was through a couple of quick threes from Deshaun Leonard. Leonard will go out here, so it's going to be up to Miller, Boykins, and Carmelo to try to generate some offense.
Boykins going right around Hoiberg, and it's rejected out of bounds by Garnett. Maybe the easiest block he's ever had.
Well, he's got about a 6-foot height advantage over poor little Earl.
And at the buzzer, Nene misses. And Olowokandi hustles for it and travels. And Olowokandi appealing to Bennett Salvatore, saying, "I got pushed," but no foul was called. And Olowokandi took steps.
Well, let's take a look. Olowokandi grabs the loose ball, and yeah, I'd say he traveled. Good call.
Nuggets trying to narrow the 8-point deficit. Andre Miller posting up against Cassell. Here is Nene. And Garnett with the rebound. Garnett now with 11 boards.
And Minnesota once again exerting their will and taking control of this tempo.
And they can open up their biggest lead of the game with a field goal here. And it's Kevin Garnett with a turnaround. And Boykins now trying to lead a fast break. Runs into Hoiberg. And the foul called against Fred Hoiberg.
Ooh, I don't know about that call. Looked like Hoiberg knocked the ball away from Boykins, but he gets called for the foul.
3 on Hoiberg. Each team has 1 team foul with nearly 3 minutes elapsed in the fourth.
Let's take a look. You'll see he gets his hand on the crossover and then
left hand.
A little reach in, but not much there.
Anthony, 3-point attempt misses, batted out by Nene. New clock. Miller goes in and gets the basket and a foul. Andre Miller has had no fear tonight, driving against the big people.
Well, that's what he does best. Uses that strength, gets to the rim, and finishes. And that time, draws the foul. Now he has a chance to.
And a timeout called. Still early in this fourth away with a victory. And the longer that Denver makes things tough for Minnesota, the more that little black cloud continues to hang over them about getting out of that first round. Remember, it's 1 against 8.
That's exactly right. And I really feel that this is part of the process for Minnesota, and it's a process they have not gone through before. But if they can pull out a close victory here tonight, it will do wonders for their confidence as they go forward in the playoffs and into Game 5 in Minnesota.
They play the winner of Sacramento, Dallas. Kings can wrap it up on Thursday night. Garnett going in and fouling, and getting fouled, I should say. And that personal is on Marcus Camby. 8:36 to go.
Personal foul, number 23, Marcus Camby.
Garnett going to the line, and that has been a big key tonight for the Timberwolves. 13 free throw attempts for Garnett, 13 of the 22, and he's got 2 coming here.
Well, it's all part of playoff basketball, getting to the line on the road, stopping the home crowd's momentum, but you got to knock them down, of course.
Irvin Johnson re-enters the game, replacing Michael Olowokandi, who did not score in 11 minutes. He missed them both. So Miller missed the chance for the 3-point play moments ago, and then Garnett misses 2 free throws.
And that is rare. He's an excellent foul shooter, and especially a guy like Garnett, you don't expect him to miss.
Miller with the reverse lay-in didn't have enough on it, and the Timberwolves come out with it. Trendon Hassel, who has become an offensive factor in this game for Minnesota. In addition to the big three, knocked away by Boykins out of bounds with 10 on the shot clock.
Big deflection there by Boykins. It didn't result in a steal, but it kept Fred Hoiberg from getting a wide open three. And as we know, he's already knocked down a couple here in the fourth.
Cassell with the ball, 3 of 7 from the field. He has not had a chance to get too many off. Misses from the perimeter, and for the second straight game, the Nuggets doing a great defensive job on Sam Cassell, who had 40 in game 1.
He made such an effort to jump out at him on those screens at the high post.
Here is Carmelo Anthony. And Anthony again struggling. 1 of 16 from the field, and then one field goal was when he knocked the ball away on the turnover and went in for the easy lay-in.
He's finding out a lot about playoff basketball right now.
Sure is. Nene picking up Cassell on the switch. They double team him. One-on-one, Camby and Garnett. 4 on the clock. Garnett will fire away and hit. Kevin Garnett, doesn't matter how you play him, 25 points, 14 rebounds.
He's something, isn't he? That's a big shot there. Every time they can stretch it to 8 or 10, it just makes things so much more difficult on this Denver team that's struggling in the half court.
And a timeout called by Denver. You have to take your word for it.
I had position. I was right there.
Following the timeout, Andre Miller, Boykins, Hassel defending Boykins, and Camby setting the screen. Garnett for a moment on Earl, the 5'5" dynamo. Nene putting it up, and Camby with the offensive rebound passes to Miller, who lays it in. Big basket off the timeout.
Boy, where would Denver be without the offensive rebounding? That was their 18th of the ball game. And rare to see a team control the boards like Denver has and still be 6 points behind.
And Carmelo Anthony, 1 for 16, 2 points on the bench. Sprewell with a long arcing shot, and the buzzer sounded, I believe, and now Bennett Salvatore indicates that the shot was gotten off in time and it was last touched by Nene, so Minnesota has possession.
And it did nick the rim just barely. And you'll see here Sprewell forcing a shot over Camby, and watch it just nick the rim, and then unfortunately for Denver, bad bounce right off of Nene.
Sprewell 1 for his last 9. Garnett looking in to Hassel. Hassel has been a big offensive threat and remains so. Hassel has 14 points, 12 in the second half.
Well, he's been so good offensively that Minnesota went to him with Boykins on him. It's been rare in this series that you've seen Hassel post up Boykins despite the size advantage, but he's feeling so good about himself offensively, they're going to go to him.
10 on the shot clock for Sean Leonard. He's had the hot hand and still does for Sean Leonard. 22 points tonight, and Leonard has hit 9 of 16 from the field. 6-point lead again.
Where would they be without the offensive rebounding? Where would they be without Sean Leonard,
who had the big game, 2, when he scored 24, although the Nuggets lost that one by 14. Here's Garnett feeding off to Irvin Johnson. Nene getting the rebound. Out to Andre Miller. Miller against a lot of blue shot. What a shot! Miller split the defense. There were 4 defenders back, and Andre Miller scores to bring Denver within 4.
1-on-4. Andre Miller says, I'm just going to create my own fast break.
And Johnson is fouled by Leonard inside. 13 foul. What a
Miller goes right through the entire defense, up and under Cassell. Little English off the glass. Beautiful layup. Another look.
Irving Johnson at the
is that
line
nice?
for 2.
13 for Andre Miller, and Johnson will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws, and this is the first one badly. Irvin Johnson, 61% free throw shooter during the regular year. And 1 out of 2. 5-point Minnesota lead under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. A tremendous battle here between 2 teams desperate. One has not had playoff success. The other hasn't been in the playoffs.
And can Denver score in the half court? That's the question.
Here's Camby with the lay-in. Basket counts. He'll have a chance for a third point.
Finally getting a little offensive execution in the half court. Nice little screen and roll. Camby with the finish.
NBA playoff basketball right here on TNT. Timberwolves with 2 full timeouts remaining. The Nuggets with 1 full and 1:20. Each team has 1 foul to give. Marcus Camby cuts the lead to 2.
Well, every possession is critical. And Minnesota has to go into their MVP.
Guarded by Nene. It drops through. It did not go over the top. It hung up there at the top of the backboard and dropped through. Garnett with 27. And it's a 4-point lead for Minnesota.
How did he get that thing to go?
Miller, not enough busted on it. And Sprewell has it. And they're going to call a pushing foul against Denver. And it's on Camby. And that will be Marcus Camby's, Renee's 4th foul.
Look at that bounce off the top of the backboard. And when you hear coaches say, well, a bounce here, a bounce there, it's the difference in the game. That might be the one.
How about a hang there and a hang there?
That's right.
Garnett passing out of the double team. Ball movement. Cassell's been quiet tonight, but don't count him out. Don't count out Sam Cassell. He has 14 points, and the lead is up to 6.
Sam Cassell could be 2 for 20, and he'll still hit the ones that count.
That's why he has 2 rings. Deshaun Leonard with a 3, and crashing the boards Camby, but it comes down into the hands of Cassell. So this is a crucial couple of minutes. Minnesota, after the lead had been cut to 2, now have a chance to open it again to 8 as Cassell hits the floor hard.
And what a smart play by Cassell, recognizing that he had a defender on his hip and simply throwing his body into that defender, drawing the foul. And I believe it was Nene.
Yes.
And that will be his 5th.
Yes.
Look at this shot. Great defense the entire possession by Denver. Good challenge by Andre Miller. Doesn't matter. Sam Cassell knocks it down, and Minnesota suddenly regaining control here.
And Denver, 15 foul in the penalty. 3:18 to go as Cassell misses the free throw. Nene with 5 personal fouls. He has scored 9 points tonight. And through it all, Carmelo Anthony remains on the bench. He has not had it tonight, Anthony. 1 for 16, 2 points, and may not be 100% after going into the locker room for 4 minutes. Cassell with 1 free throw, 7-point Minnesota lead. Coming down to the stretch, Boykins missing the 3-point attempt. Good block out by the T-Wolves.
Minnesota doing everything they have to do to win this game and to close it out. They're defending, they're knocking down shots, and they're rebounding.
Under 3 minutes to go, and you can feel the crowd, the air going out of him, but this could be a backcourt violation, and it is. So another turnover, and Denver hangs in there down by 7 to the consternation of Flip Saunders.
Dick, you mentioned Carmelo Anthony on the bench. It looks like Jeff Bzdelik has finally said, all right, the young fella has struggled enough. Doesn't look like he's going to get it going. He'll stick with the guys who have been hot.
And one of them, Earl Boykins, with the ball. Andre Miller, his backcourt mate, is another. Here is Nene, guarded by Cassell momentarily, passing out of the double team. Boykins misses a 3. So the last 2 3-point attempts for Denver has really hurt their cause with under 2.5 to play.
Minnesota has done such a nice job defensively all night, but those shots get tougher because the T-Wolves have been grinding throughout this game. Open shots get more difficult late in the game.
Hoiberg, and way off the mark for him. And here is Andre Miller coming up. Here is Deshaun Leonard in rhythm, hitting the 3. Deshaun Leonard 5 for 5. And it's a 4-point deficit. Denver just won't go away.
Won't go away. He's right. Every time it looks like Minnesota's got it, Bashawn Leonard hits a big shot.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Here in the fourth, Garnett wants the ball.
Denver has to have a stop here.
And the ball knocked away. And the foul call against Garnett is fourth. So he wanted the ball, couldn't control it, lost it, and then commits the foul.
Take a look at the great help by Leonard, who's been huge offensively all night. That time helping out at the defensive end of the floor. And now the Nuggets with a chance to cut it to 2 or even 1.
Time remaining, 1:35. Bashawn Leonard to Boykins. Boykins passes up the 3. Leonard will not pass up the 3. He'll fire it and hit it.
Unbelievable.
6 for 6, and it's a 1-point Minnesota lead. What a game.
And what a pump fake by Bashawn Leonard, freeing himself up for that 3. He has personally kept the Nuggets in this game tonight, here in the fourth quarter especially.
Here's Latrell Sprewell with a 3. So that'll quiet this throng somewhat as the Timberwolves open up a 4-point lead under a minute remaining in regulation.
Huge shot by Sprewell and great offensive execution by Minnesota. I think Denver felt that the T-Wolves would probably go to Garnett. Instead, they ran the screen and roll, freed up Sprewell.
And knocked away by Garnett. And the possession, and a big one for Denver going by the boards. That was a critical possession for Denver. Neither team has a foul to give. 10 on the shot clock. Cassell and the rebound by Camby. They are down by 4. It's a 2-possession game. Nene makes it a 1-possession game with 18.7. It's 84-82.
And you got a foul. You got a foul if you're Denver.
And they're going to foul Sprewell with 12.1, and Sprewell, who has not gone to the free throw line tonight, will go to the stripe for 2 crucial free throws.
Oh, I'm surprised Sam Cassell didn't keep the ball in his hands, but I think he recognized that they could run a little clock, run some time off that clock. But Cassell's the guy you want at the line. Sprewell, as we said, has not been there yet tonight.
And Minnesota has been only 2 for 6 here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Denver will be within 1 possession. They've got a timeout and a 20. So even if Sprewell makes this one, they've got a chance to set something up, try to tie this game.
And of course, with 12 seconds, I guess they have to try the 3, unless they get a quick 2, but the time is really running out for them.
We'll see what Sprewell does here, and we'll see what Jeff Pascoe draws up in the timeout.
He missed the ball. Timeout. 30-second timeout. Minnesota a full timeout as Leonard inbounds to Andre Miller. This is it for the Denver Nuggets if they want to hang in there against Minnesota. Andre Miller with a fall away, misses, and Garnett has it. Now it's Leonard. Time running out, and that'll do it. And the Timberwolves hold on and win it 84-82.
Kevin, did you learn something about you guys, your team, in terms of the mental tenacity? Because Denver gave everything they had and kept coming at you.
They kept throwing haymakers. It's not easy playing up here. You know, Bashawn made some really, really big shots. And they made shots, man. We had times we miscombobulated. We're not playing our best right now, D. You know, we know that. But we're beating them. We're playing like crap and we're beating them. So we have to continue to stay confident, stay with each other, and that's what we did.
You came early, 3 hours before tip-off. I was told you've never done that before. Why did you make that decision?
Because I felt like in order for us to win, I had to initiate it. The third game, I played like crap, man. I wasn't happy with my play at all. Tonight, I wanted to come out. I wanted to be aggressive from the giddy up. And late, I wanted to, you know, get my teammates into it. Made a couple, you know what I'm saying, mistakes that I got to look at. But other than that, we got to win. So now we're going to go home and close this out.
Yeah, because you don't want to come back to this building. Is that fair to say?
No, it doesn't matter. I play on the streets of Brooklyn if I got to. It don't matter. but we're going to close this thing out when we get home.
Kevin, thanks for your time and congratulations. Well done.
What's up, Ma?
Against the scrappy Denver team.
Look at Barry and Sprewell getting after it. A lot of emotion here tonight.
It was an emotional game from the beginning, and it was emotional even with the comments made by both teams during